Round 10, best buys of the week. We're just gone a third of the way through the season. Where you ranked, let us know in the comments. And yeah, let me know when you're planning for this week. And hopefully this video does help you out. We're going to kick it off with our hookers, move it down the line all the way through to wing fullback. And hopefully we can help you make some decisions. The thing is, this week, there are so many options, whether you want to go a little bit cheaper and save some cash, whether you want to spend up and utilize what you've got in the bank, or you're selling, Mamazelis and Jacob Preston, unfortunately, with his 4-week out, there is some cash available to spend. So do you want to use it all, or do you want to save a little bit? And there's a bunch of guys in that 400k range as well that can do a good job. Just released a few hours ago there the buy planning video for 2025, discussing with a few people from JBFA private group VIPs. So it's a benefit for them. Is every few weeks we jump on a video and go through their teams and they can ask questions and the like there. And that's I will shout out Andrew. He's sitting in 11th overall. He was on that video as well, giving his thoughts on his team and what he would do. Now Aaron Clark, 681k. He's priced at 51 now. It's pretty wild. Just had a couple of questions from people like, have I actually missed the bus? And look, with the hooking position, I think it's so tough and it's pretty dirty. I personally would just pick Riley Smith in that position, as a bird just drops on my window. Hey, buddy. Just knocks on the window. I personally would pick Riley, and I would actually buy Aaron Clark as well and use him in the mids. The minutes he's getting, I think he'll get big minutes this week as well. Yes, he's expensive, but if he's getting near 60 minutes, we haven't seen him in that role before at lock, and we've seen him play 50 minutes and average sort of 50 there and have a really good PPM. And if he can keep the 60s and 70s, which I think for at least this week he'll be up pretty high, and he may drop down to 55 to 60, but you're probably paying for the points at this stage. You're not paying for the value. And that's the thing with the buy period as well, is you do buy players that are guns. He's a gun in the hooker position. Do we expect the hookers to average 55 to 60? No, not anymore. Not with guys like Watson and Grant not performing. Out for Origin, the position's pretty poor. So if you're spending a 51 price point to get someone to get those points who has dual position that can get us around 15, I think that's completely fine. So if you haven't got him yet, you're selling Preston, or you're selling some of these big dogs that have done well and have gained a lot of cash. Maybe you just take the loss on cash on this one and just go for the points. And yes, it's more risky because of the price that you're buying him at, but I think it's completely fine to get Aaron Clark. Blake Brayley, 636k. Well, he's one of the other options, and you look at his scoring and it's a bit up and down. Like, you get 40s pretty regularly with him, like we've had with Clark, but Clark's had a role change, whereas Brayley is the same each and every year. He's averaging 49.7, priced at 47 right now. In 2024, he hit a 43.6 average. In 2023, he hit a 46 average. So right now he's averaging well above where he's been at in the past. He's priced above that. So pretty well you can expect that he's going to hit just under 50 average. Could be closer to 47 or 45 and just be fine for you. He misses 13, so can he cover that one? And he misses 18 as well. So he's a fine pick. Some people will go to him. I've seen him up a little bit in percentage this week, and will do a job, but I think Clark has more upside if you were spending, 45k difference there. Riley Smith, as I was saying, I think he's the guy to look at. And yes, Joey Lussick may return to the team next week. He's available to play as of next week. But even if that is the case, if he gets 60-odd minutes, he should be able to get good tackle numbers and hopefully get involved a little bit more in the attack like last week. Look, let's just say we take out the tackle break and the offload from last week, and it is still a 48. And you take away 6-7 minutes, and maybe it's near 40. But he's priced at 29. So if I get a 40 out of him every week, and I get a 40 out of him or something like that, it could be even better. But let's just say we get a 40 in round 12. I'm very, very happy as an owner of Riley Smith, and I do think he's a very, very easy switch from Mamo to Riley Smith this week. Don't need to say too much more. You're probably going to sell him come their buys anyway. Now, Jazz Savanga, the big thing to note with him, there's two things. One, the upside for him at lock is really, really high. We've seen him score awesome in that position in in other years. Like you look at these interchange, off the interchange there, it's just under a 1 ppm. We've seen him play lock in other years and do really good jobs there. 60s and 70s minutes for 44, 56, 60, all really good numbers there. But that's 2023. It's, he's a little bit older. He's not crazy that old. He's only near the 30 mark, but he didn't score super well in round 8 at lock, but in round 7, he got the 51 tackles and the 1 miss. So that's where the benefit is. The main worry with him is that he's got LIA returning and Sipley, I believe, in like anywhere in the next 2 to 3 weeks, sort of around 12 to 13 for those guys. And it may move him back to the bench. Gerbo might go back to 13. There's a few different things there. But to be honest, if you're buying Tavanga now and you can get him for 35 to 40 minutes off the bench at worst, I think that by that point he'll be priced around the 30, and I think he averages somewhere there. So at worst, he's like a 30 to 35 guy, maybe in round 12 when you need him. And then I think, you're probably selling him somewhere near this point, unless there's more injuries come and he gets to stick at 13. You might sell him somewhere there anyway for someone a little bit better. So a cash down at 366k that can work for you and shouldn't hurt you too much, even if things don't go well. But we know that this week, maybe next week as well, he should be able to score pretty well and get some decent minutes. We just don't know how many, whether it's 45, 50, 65, 70, like you got on the weekend. We don't know. Havili, 348k, priced at 26. So for him, dual position as well. He's going to get the spot. Looks like 3 to 6 weeks, anywhere in there, depending on if there's a fracture for Mamouzelos. Priced at 26, it's a little bit of an awkward one. We know he has come out and done some good work at certain times in the hooking position, but his most recent performance in round 3 last year was a 28-minute 9 at hooker. So that wasn't ideal. And then we scroll back a bit further, 18 in 27, but then a 55 in 54 minutes. So there are games there where he can do well. He just hasn't played those minutes in a long time. 36 in 71 in 2022, 41 in 43. So it can be very hit and miss. I think it's too far of a cry to pick him up. If Mamouzelos happens to be back in sort of that 3 to 4 range, you maybe lose Philly back to the bench following the bye. So it could almost be like a 2 to 3 week play at most. And I think that can hurt you guys a little bit there. All right, we do move to the mids, but firstly, I just want to open this up to the public, because I'm a personal trainer. For those who haven't known, I've been a PT for just almost 7 years now. Coming back from my Europe trip, Magic Round, I'm keen to do a 4-week challenge, and I just wanted to open up to you guys as well, wherever you are in the world, a 4-week challenge, an accountability challenge for myself and for you guys as well. So I am opening up $50 for the 4 weeks. So, $12.50 a week, nothing crazy there. It can help you out with your food, set you up with a bit of a training plan as well, and just have a WhatsApp group there or a Facebook group, so we can all work together and help each other out for 4 weeks. So if you're interested in that, let me know in DM or down the comments, and I'll get you to my email's there, down there in the comments, in the description as well. Let me know if you're interested. You can start anytime in the next 7 days, so we'll leave it open for whichever day works for you, from today all the way through to Wednesday next week, and we'll go for 4 weeks. So let me know if you're keen on that. I'm going to start it as well over the next few days, and it's going to be super fun. So I need you guys to come help me with some accountability as well, and I can give you some tips and help you out along the way. So if you're in that mode yourself and you feel like you need a bit of a cleanse, bit of a clean up for the next month, then jump in there and let me know. I think that'll be cool. I thought, why not? I haven't offered anything like that out to you guys before, and it'll help me as well. Get ready for winter, right? Joe Taps, 777 at the mids, and the big worry with him, I think, is just the price point. And he is currently the most expensive player that you can buy this week, along with Jaden Campbell upon his return. So we even see Latrell, who was way up there as well. He's down under 700k. So with Taps, if you're buying him this week, you're hoping that he continues with his 60s and 70s ways. And the big thing with him right now is just that he is actually being involved in their attack regularly enough. He's had 3 line breaks now, 2 try assists, 2 tries for this season, and it's been awesome. We know in previous season, that's a good way to look at it. Through this time, he starts to have those really big games there. He had a 94 in round 13 last year, a 74 in round 16. So two of the biggest scores across the bye rounds. And then they didn't play round 19 there, but he had good scores basically the whole way home. And if you're buying Tarpany, he's a really interesting captaincy option for round 12 as well. A lot of work was done through the middle from the Titans against the Dogs last week. So it could be a very similar type of thing for Taps this week with the Raiders up against the Dogs. So plays in round 12, misses round 15, but plays 18. He's clearly a guy I think you can hold all the way through until at least that bye in round 19, that next minor bye, where they do miss 2 games in the last 10. So last 9, sorry. So he's definitely a guy to look at. He's got the upside. He can get you 60s, 70s. He hasn't got that crazy game this year so far. He's got the 86, but he hasn't gone that sort of 90 plus, but really consistent in the 60s and 54 minutes, which is usually what he plays there. He played the 45 in round 1, but with the sin bin. And if you're taking that out, he's averaging well over 60. So it's a very impressive resume right now for Tarpany, and I'm definitely interested in him myself this week. And he seems the best mid to buy for round 12. Dylan Lucas, 715k. Oh, I've got him a bit early. Sorry, scratch that. Anyway, Lucas with the edge in the centre. I think he's one of the best buys of the week. I think we keep it very simple. He's averaging 58.8. He's priced at 53, and I think he'll be in a similar boat to Preston and get right up to about that 780 mark and stick there. That you can, he's going to be the best centre for the year. He's one of the better edges as well. So I think he's a very important player that doesn't have a buy until round 18. And he's just showing his chops there with one try assist, 2 line breaks. So he's got a little bit of attack in him. We know that. There is worries of him moving out to centre, similar to that with Beau Fermor still. But touch wood, all the outside backs for the Knights have done a good job and stayed healthy. 49 is his lowest score, and that was his first game back from a hammy. He's got through the 2. Everything else has been 57 or above. So great start for Lucas. Wanted him at the start of the year. I'll be getting him in my side, and I know a lot of people will also. Adam Fennell-Blake. Okay, a little bit worrying with him at the moment is just the low scores in around that one big one, which included extra time there, but 47, 44, 37 in 42, 43, and 43 minutes. If you don't own him yet, wait till round 12 and decide. And that's where I think guys like Tarpany are really important as well, because Adam's carrying this injury, which is stopping him playing those minutes that he had been all year. If you own right now, clear hold, but I don't think you look to buy this week. Spend up the extra money or go down to someone like Leo Thompson, who's doing really well at 631k. He's priced at 47, averaging 50, and he's got, do you get sin bin? Yeah. So round 8, he got the sin bin game, played the 43 minutes, but outside of that, he's been up really high, apart from round 2 as well. So he's had 2 really weird games, but he did also miss a couple of, missed round 3, that had the bye, then came back and went straight into 72 minutes. So if you just take out, which I think is fair, he's had 2 weird games and 2 really nice games there, but minutes over 50 for 2025, and he's up at a 55 average. So if there's a possibility of getting him a little bit underpriced, maybe let's just say he averages 52 or 53, to get him 5 or 6 points underpriced, and he plays round 12, round 15. So very important matchups there. He's just doing a great job and getting big minutes, and he's finally kind of playing how I would have hoped he'd played. He had games of 53 minutes. When he hit over 50 minutes, he averaged 53 minutes for 44 points last year, and it just wasn't, he just didn't have the same vigor. He's averaging 1.8 tackle breaks, 0.5 offloads, but also the tackle numbers are up this year as well. Up at 42.8, so he's really putting in work there. He's offloading a little bit more, well, with that 4 offload game last week, but 1.2 tackle breaks is nothing crazy. It's more the tackle numbers that have gone up dramatically. And he's in these games only had the 1 turnover. So it's not like you're relying on any of that. He had 1 line break assist last week and has no other attacking stats. So Leo Thompson, I think he's a really fun pick if you've got that kind of cash there at 631. You don't want to spend up too high. I think he comes into round 12, fairly important as a guy that you could get at 631. If he does happen to average 47 to 50, you're not too mad about it. It's fine. We've had that out of guys like Max King in the past, where they've just done a job for us. So could be a similar type of scenario with Leo Thompson here. And I think he'd be happy enough with that over that time. It's a tough position for the big buys, and he'll help out with that. Hamish Stewart at 414. So he's priced at 31 now, but he's got this lock spot in the bag, and that probably means 40, over 40 minutes. And you look at his scores across the year, and he just has the 2 games over 40 minutes for a 42 and then the 66 with the try. Tackle numbers in those games where he gets 40 plus minutes, it's 38 and 41. So very good to see. He did have a couple of turnover tackles and the try on the weekend. So personally, I think you can expect 40 out of him, with potential for, 45 or something like that as an average over the next, couple of months. And he will play round 15 and round 18. And that's probably the point where you would likely move him on, unless he became, a keeper like Egan and Couchman there. So Hamish is a cash down as a guy to, if you're not too stressed about round 12 mids right now, then Hamish Stewart, I think, comes into the fray as a really, really good, interesting, fun option there at 414k. Yeah, should be good. Jacob Saifidi with the Knights as well. If you had less money you wanted to spend, 404k for Saifidi as a mid for round 12, I think works really well. You looked at him last year as a guy that was in and out of the starting side, did still average 40 in 46 minutes. He's priced at 30 right now, and they do need good middles. And what we're seeing here is we had, the one injury game for him with the calf. He missed, 3 more weeks following that, and then came back for a 51 in 47 minutes, having 3 tackle breaks and 210 run meters. So I'm not sure if we can exactly expect that from him going forward, is those big run meters. Like, we haven't, seen him do that very much at all. Like, the highest last year was 157, and a lot of games similar to what we saw at the beginning of this year. And now, if that was to be the case, we're probably seeing some mid-30s a lot of the time, but you can have the odd game like this where he did, play 47 minutes, which is where he's been at, but have the better PPM. And you see here, it's in the 3 games as 40 in 48 minutes, so very, very similar to last year. And, 2023, we've had, similar type years for him, 33 in 43 minutes. Let's just say when he gets over, that's over 30 minutes, but let's go over 40 minutes, and it's 34 and 45. So he's definitely improved a little bit over the last 2 years in a, shorter sample size this year, but a large one last year. And, Daniel's left, so it leaves that little bit more importance for someone like Jacob. And I think he's a fairly safe pick for 400k as a mid for round 12, where it's a tougher position. The break even's not too high, so you can wait until next week if you like, or you can jump on use him as your third mid. A lot of people only have the 1, maybe 0 right now, so getting someone in like that can be a really good option for you and do a good job. All right, Liron Patea, 282k. He is in a pretty good spot there to get some okay minutes, but that, as you can see down there, is the highest minutes he's had in this year. In the 2 games, he had 14 and then into 28. He looked great, and I think he'll deserve the 20 odd minutes going forward. He's a cash down at 282k. I'd probably just go for Lycan over Patea. Yes, in a different position, but I suppose you could play him as a round 12 mid. Like, if Isaiah Yeo is going to be out, I don't hate the cash down. Actually, to be honest, I forgot about the round 11 buy. You'd use him for round 12 and then probably sell leading up to round 15. So yeah, actually, now that I think about it, he's not too bad. When you're going to lose Isaiah Yeo, you're going to lose Liam Martin. They're going to have to move a few things around, and maybe Patea ends up in a decent spot to play minutes for that week. You're not using him for the whole buy period, but for that week alone. And a bit of a cash grab there. Probably only makes 100 max, but yeah, we'll be fine, and you can loop him next week as well. So not the worst cash down there. Bo Fermor, 707k. He's priced at 53, and we saw this, a bunch of weeks ago now. 718 he got it to, and then dropped down to 609 before the massive 109. He's got 3 tries. He's had 2 try savers, a try assist, and 3 line breaks the last 2 weeks. So similar to Drinkwater, it's just been an incredible 2 weeks for him, and not sure if he can keep it up. well, we know he's not going to go back to 109s and stuff, and he's not going to score doubles every week, so he won't keep that up, and probably goes back to where he's priced at. So you're buying a guy that pretty well locked in to average this for the season, somewhere in the low to mid 50s, and a chance for Origin. Misses the big buy here, misses around 18, may miss 15 if he makes Origin. So it's a tough buy now, whereas last week or the week before, it was fairly easy. Eli Katoa has dropped a little bit since we spoke about him. A 718 was his high of the year, and then he went 25, which dropped him down, then back to 55 and 72. So some good scores for him. Yeah, the lowest outside of that 25 was 47. So very consistent edge if you if you don't want him. So if you need a around 12 playing edge, then he's not the guy. Similar to Jerome Hughes, going to be a player that will be good throughout the season. Yes, misses 12 and 15. Do you want him now, or do you want him a little bit after? So around 16 or something like that with Katoa. We know he's going to be a 50-odd guy. Pretty stock standard, but there are also a lot of other edges that are doing the same thing. One of them being Kaipi's Paul. He's priced above 50 now. And if you do need a around 12 edge, he's one of the cheaper guys. If you're using Lucas in center, you haven't got like Matty Nicholson or Wong or any of these guys, and then KPP coming down from Preston saves you some cash, and he's doing a good job. So still no tries for the year, 2 try assists, and he's averaging 55.5. So that's good news. I think he can continue it. The tackle numbers are great. He's tackle busting, he's running, got a couple of turnover tackles on the weekend. So things are going well for KVP. If you do own already, happy days. If you don't yet, I think you can and be fine. A slightly different pick in the edge if you need someone for round 12, and small chance he makes Origin, I think. 632k for Olakau'atu too. It had been a tough stretch for him. Went back to a 78. We just know that it can be up and down. So expect the volatility. He's still averaging 50 for the year, even with a 27, 49, 44, 30, and 40 in his game. You know it's going to be up and down. If you want to jump on, sweet. If you're not too fussed about it, then you can just leave him. It's a pretty simple one with him, with the volatility. Matty Nicholson has to be brought up, even though he's expensive now. He's scoring really well. He had the 48 and the 49 with the head knock game. Picked up the try. Last week, he got the try as well in the 56. The week just gone, he picked up a couple offloads. Ran the 40-70 meters. It was, pretty stock standard game for him, but just the lack of missed tackles is so good. And you can kind of lock in a high 40s to 50 odd score, averaging 57. He's just killing it. So expecting more meat and potatoes than what we saw from him in round 2 and round 5. That seems to be more norm for him, but he's scoring tries. He's got, 5 for the season now. So there'll be games where he goes nuts, owned by half the team. So it's not like he's going to kill you if you don't own him, but could just be really solid for the next bunch of weeks. And there's other options as well if you like. Now, the cheapest edge option for round 12 right now is Halasima. Played 80 minutes last week, got 45 points. We've seen the upside from him in tries. We also saw the PPM upside, 37 and 39. Last week was a bit of a nothing game for him, and they've got some notes there for him. Very off with the field with a leg injury, Cabell to the centres, Nikoi right edge, and Halasima left edge. So maybe that means that he doesn't play the full 80, but we've also got Cabell to centre this week. Even if he plays in the 60s, I think he's a good buy. Should average somewhere in the 45 range with upside games and more general downside games being just base stat games like we saw on the weekend. So he's really solid. He's all there, 35 tackles, 3 misses. You can take that every day of the week. 1 offload, one tackle break there. So pretty fine. And at that price point, you can't really go wrong. And if you are happy with playing him in round 12 as your second edge, then sweet. If you want someone a little bit more expensive, a little bit potentially better, then go for that as well. I think it's personal preference. Metcalf, we had to mention him because he's averaging 51.6 now, and he's got it up to where we thought he might be able to get to. He's scoring a lot of tries, so 48, 42, 46, 69, and 93 the last few weeks. So I'd find it very difficult to buy him. If you own, you're absolutely you're cheering, and hopefully you played him last week for that 93. Playing much better, running the footy a lot more since round 4 there. Can't believe in round 3 you had 9 run meters. But yeah, he's really taken over. He kicked goals well on the weekend as well. So I can't push people to buy him, but a clear hold. Humphries is back. How good. He's got a high break even though. And I think Latrell probably takes some kick meters away from him. So I personally want to watch him this week. See how it goes. Get that break even a little bit more normal. Get his price down to 600. And if he's still going to hit, a mid-50s average or something like that, then he could be fun to buy. I think you're looking around 13 though, not now. But I'm seeing people jump back in. All right, what have we got? 10 left. Jerome Hughes, 544k, priced at 40, averaging 37.7. It's pretty low. We just haven't seen the boom game from him. It'll probably come, and it'll probably come this week, and then people will buy him. I think he's still a fun pick, similar to what we said with Katoa. It's a really solid price, and at 544k, if he can come out and start hitting 50s, then you're making cash, you're doing some good work. But it's easy to hold off as well. Tigers this week could be a fun one. Cronulla the following, but maybe target for round 13 in the Titans. Hughesy, can he get it back? Isaiah Katoa, 684k, another really good game for him on the weekend was 67. The low for him this year is 46. So getting absolute consistency. He's getting stats across the board. Parramatta this week, it's Warriors and Canterbury. So an okay draw. Then he misses round 13, but plays the next one. So a pretty good combination to have with Jamal Fogarty. And if you're holding someone like Cleary, who probably is going to have to back up following Origin there, ICAT, averaging 55, price of 51, in a really good spot to continue doing well. King Tagia, 260k is the cheapest of the cash out options. Got 47 with 2 try assists. Good tackle numbers, ran the footy. Kicked a little bit as well, got a forced dropout. So a fun game from him. Has 2 okay matchups the next 2 weeks. Not sure if you clearly want to play him week to week, although the Warriors did have some mishaps defensively through Drinkwater. So not the same player, obviously, but he is the cash down option of the week. I do think Patea could be an interesting one if you at a similar price point. But King Tagia seems safer, I think, at this point, and had decent cup stats as well. Nico Hines, a 719, kind of the forgotten man in terms of people bringing him in. He's still fairly low ownership in the last 3 weeks. He's gone 56, 60, and 59. The team's playing well enough. It's a bit of an awkward couple of matchups here with Manly, with Melbourne, and then Roosters missing probably a few Origin guys there. That part's fine, but then it's you get him for around 12 and 15, which is the big thing with Heinzie there. Same setup as ICAT. So you can pick, do you want Katoa? Do you want Hines? I think Katoa's doing more across the board. Hines is definitely touching the footy more in recent weeks and doing really well. Just the kicking in general play the last 2 has been down. But tackle numbers are up, doing some good work on all of that front as well. Happy to own. You can go the other way if you like, with guys like Fogarty, who picked up a 48 in the weekend. I don't think I clicked him on here, but with Fogs, he had a lower score on the weekend of 48, and they're playing well. So I think whatever Raiders are playing well, he's going to be a good option for sure. Into the centres, Ruben Garrick at 646k. And with Rubes, the price point is probably a little bit better than some of the other guys. And he's averaging 51.6, so that does include the 97. 58 last week with the try. It's Cronulla, Cowboys, Para, but they play every single major bye. So that's where Garrick is awesome. If you want him on your side, you can wait a little bit. You can wait until round 12 if you like. Him against the Titans in round 15, it's going to be pretty fun as well. So they do miss 16 and 19, so that's a bit awkward in itself. So maybe the earlier the better to buy, or you just leave him. Although, Titans and Bunnies are pretty fun clashes. So I think he's going to have games where it's like, I wish I had Garrick. So maybe that's where you look at him at a slightly cheaper price. You got Farnworth at 746. Got the 56 on the weekend. Scoring tries now, which is good, but not getting those, the 50 odds without the big attacking stats. He's got 3 try assists, 3 tries now. 4 tries. So he's doing solid. He's going to keep hitting somewhere in that mid-50s. And do you want to pay that price for it? Or do you go for Lucas? Or do you go for Karaz or things like that? So 680k for Jacob. Price at 51 now, has 102 in the rolling average, so he'll make some cash, but price at 51, he probably sits in the mid-50s range. So a tiny bit tiny bit to gain there. Matchups over the next few weeks, Raiders will be a little bit harder. Sorry, guys. Voice is still coming back. Roosters and Dolphins over the next three, it's fine. He's just playing that well, and there's a worry that he does make Origin. We need to see if Lomax can return. I think if he doesn't, then Carraz has more chance. Do they play Crichton a centre or wing? Do they play Turbo on the wing? There's a few question marks around that. But Carraz is a really fun watch. When he runs the footy, he looks offload. His lowest is 3 so far, and 14 tackle breaks. Anyone that can do that, it has upside and is a super fun watch. So Carraz, a great pick this week. Can't push anyone away from him. All right. Bradman Best at 618k. I think he's a really fun pick this week. He's averaging 50.6. He has scored well when they've gone poor. He's also gone high 30s and 40s when they've gone poor. Titans this week, Para the next week. I think it's a couple of really fun clashes, and he has 70s in his game. That's 3 now where he's gone 67 plus. So when he scores a try, he does well. If the team plays well, he's going to have more opportunities as well to help out Greggy on the outside if he actually does pass it. But that's probably the big thing. It's like if you own Bradman and Marzu and he doesn't pass to Greg, it's like, it's not the end of the world because Bradman's getting points. But I think he has the upside this year. He looks stronger. He looks more consistent. And I think he's a really fun centre play this week to get him for this whole period of Knights games that no real hard clashes. Like Penrith lose their players, Roosters lose their players in round 15. So really fun setup for Bradman, and definitely a point of difference guy. Who I didn't mention. Yeah, I want to mention him as well. I don't know if I put it in there or not, but we'll roll with it. Is Dane Gagai. 530k, coming up against that left edge defensively of Titans this week. If you want the real pod, if you want the guy that can, he started the year really expensive and he averaged 52 last year. 2023 was 54.6. Yes, he's getting older, but to get him priced at 39 with this run to come is pretty hard to ignore. He has 1 try assist, 1 try. And yes, the left-hand side is their real strong side, but we know defensively the right-hand side was terrible last week for the Titans. So can Gagai dominate this one and get back to the old 60s, 70s, and 80s that he can get in random games? Look, I think you can pay to find out. It's not too expensive. He's averaging basically that and doing some good work, and has one sim bin in there for 37. So the 24 and the 43 weren't great. There was some tougher matchups in here, Dogs and the like, and they've been terrible in other games. So if they can play a bit better, Gags should score well. Like he did on the weekend, got 52 when they played better. Iro, he is the fun centre pick as well. He is just so good to watch. But the thing is, he has scored tries every game, and he's averaging 55. So if he happens to have a game or two where he doesn't score tries, that average could lower, and it gets back to maybe where he's priced at 51. He also hasn't had the crazy massive game apart from round 2, where he got the 12 tackle breaks. Other games he's had 2, 3, and 3. Only 3 offloads so far. That's all fairly low. But remember, guys, that he did get 40 in 39 minutes as well. So that average is closer to 60 with the full games, which is great. And he's got through the Panthers. He's got through the Doggies, which he dominated against as well. And he had Cowboys, which I suppose weren't playing well at that time. So he's the fun pick. He's pretty expensive. Will you jump on? I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but yeah, he'll be cool. Campbell, 780k for him. We're back into the fullbacks now, and the big thing with Campbell is he's one of our final team players, in my opinion. He's one of the best wing fullbacks. Do you jump on now? Do you wait until post-bye, Canberra next week? Like, there's a couple of tougher matchups in there, but he just does everything across the board, and he can make tackle breaks and score tries. He kicks the goals, he runs, kick meters, he does it all. So he's someone that I think you're going to want on your side. You can jump on this week if you want to, and as long as you're kind of fairly well set up for round 12 in halves or wing fullbacks, then he's awesome this week. The worry is just the ankle and how's he going to go running the footy. They're pretty desperate to have him back, and hopefully he's actually fit and ready to go. 3 to go. Drinky, 705k, priced at 52 now, which is pretty expensive. Last year, it wasn't great to buy him over 700k. He did struggle a bit. The last 2 weeks have been spectacular for him. Before that, he was solid, doing okay. But then it's 75 and 68 with no tries, but heaps of try assists, tackle breaks, offloads, plenty of running, good kick meters as well. And that was the big one last week because he kicked for 269. Penrith this week, if Penrith come out and play well, then maybe Drinkwater struggles a little bit. Manly the following week. So 2 decent games for decent oppositions. And does he go really well? I think he probably averages 50 odd over the next 2. I don't think he goes back-to-back big scores again, but if I don't buy him and he does, I'll be sad. But definitely a guy you want eventually. He's got a nice run of games here post-buy, so you can do it now. You can do it in round 13. That's fine as well. And the final 2 nights, we got Fletcher Sharp and Kalen Ponga. And a big thanks to all you guys for jumping in and following along. And just remember to jump in the description if you're interested in private group, if you're interested in the challenge for the fitness challenge, food, everything else challenge, and also if you want to join the public free Facebook group as well, that'll be good fun. But Fletcher Sharp, just under 700k, averaging 57, priced at 51. So you get a little bit of a discount on what he's been doing. He looked great running the footy. His tackle numbers are just spectacular. Hardly misses, making 20 plus, 25 plus every game. Ran the footy a bit last week and actually kicked a little bit. 3 errors, so he's doing a bit of everything, which is great. For him to get 50 the week before just in defense and then get defense plus attack this week shows there's a nice floor there of near 50. And if the team plays all right with this good run, he's a guy you want. And Kalen Ponga, I am tempted this week. He looked a bit better last week, got 64. If they score well against Titans and Para the next 2, even before that, he gets picked for Origin most likely, it could be worth it. He could go 70, 80. It's just that he looked a bit better. But they were playing Rabbitohs who did suck. He just ran the footy a bit more and looked more dangerous. So he's the fun play. If you own him, I think you're excited for the next few weeks. If you don't, then I think you can buy. And if you don't buy at all, then I think you can be a little bit worried about what's to come. So Ponga's the fun pick this week at 536k. If you want to jump on, similar with Gagai at that price point, they could do well. You got the cheapies, like a couple of the actual cheapies. We've got the mid-range guys and then the big top dogs. So I hope this best buys video was helpful for you guys. You're all the best. Thanks so much. And we'll catch you in the holds, the sells, scoops video. Go check out the buy planning one. It's all good fun. Thanks guys. We'll see you in the next one.